Greetings, girl, and welcome to my world of phrasing right up to bat. It's the daisy age, and you're about to walk top stage, so wipe your lottos on the mat. Hip hop love, this is, and don't mind when I quit.
After the Civil Rights Act, guess what happens in that election? Alabama goes for Goldwater. Georgia goes for Goldwater. Louisiana goes for Goldwater. And Mississippi goes for Goldwater. Very interesting that I thought Republicans were the ones that were for all these things. But yet, their nominee now has got a foothold in the South because he voted against the Civil Rights Act of 1964. And understand what's going on here, because this is what's kind of interesting in this, is that you know for a fact that Democratic lawmakers, because they were in the Senate, yes, they voted against it, but we know that's more of a Southern thing than anything else. Democratic lawmakers were going back home to Georgia and Mississippi, etc. And they were saying, look, you guys don't vote for Goldwater. We're in the majority. Nothing gets done if we're in the majority. Democrats are in the majority. We control everything. Don't put this Republican in office. What are y'all thinking? We're in the majority. We bring home all the money. We bring all the appointments. You know, those people you won't have judgeships. We produce that. We need this Democratic president. And I guess what those states said and what people in those states started saying is, you know what? You got a good point. You guys are in the majority. But for some reason, these civil rights acts keep getting passed. We'll get the money and we'll get the appointments. But it's very interesting that you guys keep coming back here talking about you're in the majority, but yet civil rights acts keep getting passed through your party. It's your party that's running around calling King when we told him not to. It's your party that's passing the Civil Rights Act. It's your party with Roosevelt that's appointing all these African Americans to judgeships and other appointees on the federal government. It's your party that's making sure discrimination can't take place. And it's your party through the Civil Rights Act of '64 that has totally changed our way of life. So that's a good point. Maybe you guys are the ones we need to get rid of, at least as far as the presidency is concerned. You're exactly right. Y'all are in the majority, and you've been in the majority. And for some reason, not only did the 64 Civil Rights Act pass, but so did the 57, and also the one dealing in 1960. And so you see the turn. And then that brings us to the Voting Rights Act of 1965, and which really is the final nail in the coffin as far as why African Americans were already voting Democrat and why they completely went that way. It wasn't because they were taking a chance. It wasn't because of anything that Johnson did. It's because there was real stuff on the ground. Voting Rights Act of 1965, now we have more Republicans in the South. Here we go again. Remember, the narrative always is, well, I tell you, if you just had the Republicans there, everything would have been fine. But then that means if there's any Southern Republicans, Southern now, any Southern Republicans, and they have opportunity to vote for the Voting Rights Act of 1965, they're going to do it, right? They're going to do it. They're Party of Lincoln, free the slaves. They're going to do it. Let's see. Alabama has 5 no's. Florida has 2, actually 1 yes and 1 no. Good job for Florida. Georgia has 1 now. Georgia did, before the Civil Rights Act of '64 passed, Georgia had no Republicans. They got 1, and he promptly votes no. Tennessee has 3, no. Virginia has 2, no. And then North Carolina has 1, no. So what we really see is, and the picture that tries to get painted is that the Southern Democrats represent the Democratic Party. No, Southern Democrats represent the South. And the Southern Republicans did the exact same thing. And then also the Republican Party itself stood by why they nominated somebody who voted against the Civil Rights Act of '64. And now we start to see the nail in the coffin as far as all of this is concerned, as far as race is concerned. And also in the Senate, as far as the Voting Rights Act of '65 is concerned, South Carolina now has 1 senator, Republican. Before the Civil Rights Act of '64, they didn't have 1. But the backlash has started. They now have 1, no. Texas, well, he voted no before, so he voted no again. So understand something. Obviously, we hate the way Republicans really, or persons in the South, let's talk about this, people in the South started gravitating towards the Republican Party. We wish that the Republican Party would have reached out to African Americans and done the right thing. But they weren't taking a chance. They weren't just saying what we got to lose. They were looking at the fact that the Democratic Party was leaving their values. The Democratic Party was supporting African Americans. So when they started voting Republican, they weren't just taking a chance like Republicans tell us to do today. Just take a chance, what you got to lose. They understood this new party, this Republican Party, they represent our values. That's the party that represents our values, Southern values of keeping African Americans second-class citizens. And by the same token, African Americans were not just taking a chance or just throwing things out there. They understood through years, not just through 2 pieces of legislation, not just through a couple of year period of time, but through years, the Democratic Party represented their values. And so I'll leave you with this. When Republicans, African-American Republicans especially, say, yeah, listen to Trump, just take a chance. What you got to lose? Ask them to explain this and say, take a chance on what? Take a chance on a party that after Strom Thurmond voted against the Civil Rights of 1964, welcomed him in with open arms? Take a chance on a party whose nominee in 1980, Ronald Reagan, gave a speech in Philadelphia, Mississippi, where 3 civil rights workers were killed. And his speech talked about states' rights? Take a chance on a party when the Voting Rights Act came up for renewal in 1982, had 7 Republican senators vote no? Take a chance on a party where you have Republican justices in the Supreme Court who gutted the opportunity for African Americans to participate in business contracts as far as cities are concerned? Take a chance on a party whose Republican justices voted to gut Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act? Take a chance on a party where you have Republican justices that voted against affirmative action as far as education is concerned? Take a chance on a party on the state level that won't allow a person that's been convicted of a drug-related felony to have the opportunity to vote or keep their Hope Scholarship? What do we have to lose? Everything. We don't have time to take chances. It's very simple. Vote Vice President Harris for president, 2024. We have to roll up our sleeves and get to work. And remember, the road to the White House goes through Georgia. Thank you for watching. This particular video is one part of a 4-part series. If you would like to learn more about this subject, please watch the remaining 3 parts, or you can watch in its entirety by clicking the link below. I'm Georgia State Senator Harold Jones, and please be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you again for watching.